The SCP Foundation locks up creatures and anomalies that pose a threat to the world and all of its existence. These next 3 creatures are powerful enough to destroy all human life. They are currently being monitored by SCP personnel, but not in containment. These are 3 powerful SCP creatures not in containment. SCP-3812. Object Class: Keter, also known as a voice behind me. 3812 is a reality-altering entity. Due to 3812's latent effect on reality, it is nearly impossible to describe 3812 in any meaningful way. All that is known about 3812 is that it was once Sam Howell, a non-anomalous African-American human being, who is believed to have died in 1996. Sometime shortly after its death, 3812 was observed rising out of its grave and disappearing. 3812 was brought to the Foundation's attention after its presence resulted in demolition of an apartment building in Warsaw, Poland. Due to its anomalous capabilities, 3812's appearance varies significantly, making it exceedingly difficult to track. 3812 is currently located at these coordinates over the South Pacific Ocean. 3812 exhibits signs of an extremely advanced Eigenmann-Vetter schizophrenia complex 4, specifically extreme paranoia, extreme dysphoria, extreme mania, depression, inability to properly perceive their surroundings, inability to discern the difference between the real and imagined, inability to differentiate between living and dead beings, inability to control expressions of emotions, hearing voices that are not there, seeing things that are not there, feeling or otherwise experiencing stimuli that is not there, etc. In the 20 years since 3812 was initially discovered, these symptoms have grown steadily worse. Originally, 3812 was responsive to questioning and sought help in managing its condition from Foundation researchers. Over time, 3812 became more isolated and withdrawn, eventually becoming entirely unresponsive and acting in an erratic and unpredictable way. Currently, 3812 is not able to accurately perceive the world around it and will occasionally alter reality in order to diminish the discrepancy between how it perceives something and the way that something is in actuality. Due to this, it is impossible to know how often reality has been modified. Only how often 3812 has not created a clean alteration and has left behind evidence of its influence on reality. 3812 is impossible to contain within any form of containment cell. 3812 will alter reality to remove the containment cell or move itself to another location, drastically impeding containment efforts. 3812 seems to subconsciously resist attempts at containment as well. Even if it is caught unaware, 3812 cannot be tranquilized, as 3812 will alter reality to remove or eliminate any threats to itself or its freedom of movement. Because of this, current containment efforts focus on mitigating damage and expressions of 3812 symptoms as opposed to outright containment. Over time, 3812 has become significantly less humanoid in appearance and is now only vaguely humanoid and occasionally manifests in a variety of shapes and appearances. Additionally, 3812 produces a latent anomaly effect on local reality, specifically in the form of temporal and spatial distortions around the entity. These distortions are occasionally accompanied by random, violent outbursts that may dramatically shift or damage local space and time. While 3812 is usually docile and aimless, its random outbursts are invariably fatal to any living creature nearby and can be extremely disastrous on a massive scale if not properly contained. 3812 is to be constantly monitored by a mobile task force named Starlight Kings, who are to maintain a 5-kilometer quarantine area of exclusion around 3812. Special care must be taken in order to prevent unnecessary exposure to 3812. Current containment efforts focus on mitigating 3812's influence on population centers, as well as research in the full breadth of 3812's anomalous capabilities in order to establish a more comprehensive containment procedure. Information security teams are to monitor all forms of digital media in order to prevent widespread awareness of 3812. 3812 has an active, aggressive, anomalous influence on reality. 3812 is capable of altering events throughout time to prevent its containment. Due to the nature of the alterations, it is highly unlikely that any individual affected by 3812's anomalous influence will be aware that they are effective. It is highly likely that most affected individuals no longer exist as a result of 3812's influence, though any attempt to deduce how often this has happened would be speculative. Due to 3812's nature, any attempt to contain it will invariably lead to failure, and despite quarantine efforts and ongoing research, the classification of Keter is essentially meaningless. At any point, for any reason, 3812 could not only breach containment on a global scale, but also cause potential catastrophic damage to Earth in local reality. SCP-2935 Object Class Keter, also known as O Death. SCP-2935 is a space-time anomaly existing within a limestone cave beneath a cemetery near Jopa, Indiana. The cemetery, whose last interred individual died in 1908, was discovered by Foundation personnel after radio signals were discovered emanating from 2935. The 2935 anomaly is a near-exact replica reality of modern Earth in the year 2016, with the primary exception being that all life, including both biological and non-biological, as well as any sentient entities, machines, computers, and any other lifelike phenomena within 2935 ended on April 20th of 2016. Information gathered by the Mobile Task Force, who initially entered 2935 for reconnaissance purposes, points to the conclusion that all life forms within 2935 suddenly and without warning expired between the hours of 0300 and 0400 Eastern Time. The reason for this is currently uncertain. The entrance of 2935 has been sealed with concrete, and access to 2935 is forbidden. On April 28, 2016, at roughly 0500 hours, a radio signal was detected by communications personnel at Site 81 near Bloomington, Indiana. This signal was distorted, but it was traced to the unincorporated area of Jopa, Indiana, near US Interstate 70. Site 81 personnel in Indianapolis were dispatched to determine the source of the signal as per Foundation policy, and discovered 2935 during their examination of the area. Upon initial entry into 2935, the personnel were uncertain that they actually discovered any anomaly, instead believing their drone had exited the other side of the cave. This was quickly corrected during observation of the surrounding area, and upon picking up the undistorted radio broadcast they had been searching for, the broadcast, which appeared to have been repeated on loop since April 20th, was an automated message originating from Site 81 within the 2935 reality. The full transcript of the message is as followed.
This is an automated emergency broadcast from the SCP Foundation and your national government. One or more of our sites is experiencing a communication breakdown, likely due to a containment breach of unknown magnitude. All citizens are ordered to stay in their homes as containment teams work to secure the breach. This message will broadcast from April 20th, 2016 and eel.
SCP-3542 Object Class Keter, also known as Fear Not, Citizen. 3542 is a 28-year-old male of French and Italian descent. 3542 has extreme ontokinetic abilities. An ontokinetic being can manipulate the laws of reality through anomalous means, also known as magic. 3542 seems to be unaware of his ontokinetic abilities, despite using these abilities very frequently. 3542's ontokinetic abilities have no known limit, but primarily manifest in the creation of items and materials the subject uses to respond to emergency events. Items created by the subject are often anomalously affected at their created purpose. 3542 also appears to be able to teleport or move through space while unseen. However, later analysis will always provide a route of reason for how it moved to the location. Additionally, emergencies will regularly occur within the vicinity of 3542, and it will invariably discover a way out of its cell and aid in the emergency. When the subject responds to an emergency or event in its vicinity, it will always act like a typical hero, referring itself to the red fox. The subject displays an anomalous understanding of the emergencies it responds to, and often provides materials or solutions that don't immediately appear relevant. It is still unclear whether emergencies are caused by 3542's anomaly or whether it just responds to them. 3542 is to be contained in a standard humanoid containment cell in Site 952, the Upsilon Wing. Personnel interacting with 3542 are not allowed to speak to it outside of testing. 3542's cell is to be locked using a total of 15 different locking mechanisms that are a combination of traditional locks, biometric scanners, and passcode locks with a randomly generated password. No furniture, bedding, or additional clothing is allowed within its cell. Food must be liquid or paste-based. 3542 is to be restrained within its cell and given a full cavity search. Any materials found within 3542 and anything found within the cell must be removed and destroyed. Here's an emergency that 3542 responded to. The emergency was a critical error resulting in a barrel of gasoline being swapped out for a barrel of cooking oil, resulting in a large fire in Site 952's cafeteria. 3542 appeared in the cafeteria with a small bucket of water and fire extinguisher. Despite the size of the fire, the subject entered the cafeteria and subdued the blaze. It's unclear how the fire managed to spread as quickly as it did, or how 352 was able to subdue it so quickly. Once a fire crew responded to the fire, it had already been out. Investigation into the incident revealed that 3542 had used one of its uniform's buttons to pry the door open. Additional locks were added to 3542's cell.